Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I I
And-
know some of our team is a little late. This is Camila. I
Okay,
don't know if it's with my name. Yeah.
cool. No problem at all. Mm, I'm just looking at the feedback. Um,
Okay.
Thank you. I think everyone gave something. Um,
Yay.
yeah, I'm trying to find um let me see. Are
Oh,
you
I hope I spelled your name correctly. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
I'm
okay.
like thinking now back at the feedback. When I was doing the feedback, it kept like auto correcting your name, and I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, I did it correct.
Are you assistant director?
I am. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I
Cool.
know. I do not announce that.
That's okay.
I just be taking on all the responsibility and not announcing it. But yeah, I've been with Christy and Emily for 6 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay. Miss Lara is here.
Okay, great.
Hello, hello. I was going to say good morning, but it's not good morning for any of us, so I won't say that. Um, you guys, we only have one left after this.
Oh, okay, one left. I was like, today is the last one, and we don't.
No, one left so that we can really wrap it up nicely. There was a
Okay.
couple of breaks that we shifted down, so
Oh, right.
one more. Um, cool. Well, I don't want to waste any time. So what I would love to, are you, I think what I will do is I won't say who I want to read from um the feedback form. And it seems I got a various feedback. Some people wouldn't change a thing. Some people said this, this, and this. So that's all so good for me to know. What I think more people did say, I'm going to read this one specific example from this person. I won't say who it is, but what I would love, what would be how to do better. Okay. So, it says, I would like a little less of breaking down specific examples from teachers and rather tackle common behavioral challenges in our program. Um, and then it says, although the specific scenarios brought interesting conversations, I felt we could be more efficient by covering more general concerns. Um, and then the next thing was maybe asking programs to create a list of behaviors they see often would help guide the conversations from the start. KKK, and less forms to fill out because time is so precious and you guys don't have a lot of time to do extra things. Um, so while everyone is still coming on, I would love to know, like, when I think of behavior change, what research shows is to hand it back as much as possible. Because I can tell you to do this, 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 and this, and this to everybody, and people don't really change their behavior unless they're telling me. So Miss Lisa is coming. Um, if Hello, hello. Is Miss Emily coming on today? Does anybody know?
I do not know. I know things are pretty hectic at another location, so I'm not sure how much space and time she has for today.
Okay. You know what? She'll show
Yeah.
up. Actually, let me give her a quick text, and if she shows up, great. If not, cool too.
Okay.
Um, Hi, are we going to see you today?
I don't know if Laura's audio, Laura, I don't know if you can hear us. On my end, it says that your audio is still connecting. I don't know if you're having trouble.
It does say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna dive right in. Does anyone have any suggestions on how to be more general in the coaching? What do you need as far as what would be more helpful?
I think the list of like typical things we encounter would be great. Um, but I still would think like a mix because I do think like the specifics also brought us to like specific phrasing or even just like being able to like identify needs of a specific child, at least for me, made me think like, oh, I could see that in this child, or I could see something similar in another. I don't know. I do think that that list is necessary because I also felt at times like, oh, you know what? I would like to like really ask Megan about this like general idea, and I could give you like a general idea of like how kids respond. In specific, like Miss Lisa and I were talking last week, and I'm like, oh, we always have problems with like kids and lizards, right? And that's like something that's really common, right? And that's like trying, like we go back to what's like their need or the reason that the challenging behavior is presented, like that's something obtainable that they want and slash need. And that's something we've always encountered. I'm like, oh, I never thought about talking to Megan about that. And I just feel like because we never, yeah, got time to like construct a list that way. And we were very specific and like, I don't know. And then our thoughts were very tunneled.
Okay. Um, super, super helpful. So you're saying if a list would have been provided, either me inviting a list or someone submitting a list of situations and then diving into those, is that what you're saying would have been more helpful?
Yeah, I think like a mix. Yeah, like I feel like I don't know, maybe like a class where we like cover like our compiled lists and like in another class we're giving like specific examples, either related to that list or maybe something that we're experiencing like in within our own class with maybe just one child or something like that.
Okay.
Because then, yeah, I also thought about that, like, oh, we've really specifically talked about two kids in our program, but I haven't like asked about this or the other. Like
Right.
I prioritized something that yes needed attention for sure, but I felt like, oh, I would have liked to know how to deal with this a little more.
Um, would so the oh my goodness, what is the group form, the coaching call spreadsheet to list out behaviors that you're going through. Um, did that not was that not remembered or was that not a way to be able to list those out?
You're talking about the spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
like our what was it like our wins
Um,
or
it
which one?
okay, yep, the spreadsheet. By the way, Miss Lara, if you're on the computer, will you take notes?
Yes, sure.
Thank you so much. So yeah, in the spreadsheet, there is an invitation for wins, but there's also what are the sticky moments that have happened this week that we can dive into that I can look into before the coaching call.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that really like narrowed our way of thinking. I don't know like if that I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know why that happened for us, but it did. Like I don't know if it's that form in specific or like the way we were talking, like how classes were going. And this is not to say, and like, within our very specific conversations, like I said, there's a lot of moments where you're like, oh, I could apply that to this, to that. Like those moments come up for you anyway. I'm just thinking, like, yeah, I think a compiled list would have been helpful.
A compiled list of general behaviors.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so maybe like at the beginning, a compiled list of general behaviors that everyone is kind of seeing that we could dive in.
Yes. And yeah, and we don't have to
Okay.
like thoroughly write about them, but when we meet, maybe we can talk more about it.
Gotcha. Cool. Noted. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for digging into that. Um, okay. So from Miss Camila and I were just kind of chatting, and what we were talking about for those who joined later is thank you everyone for filling out the feedback form. That helps us be more effective. And some people, I think the consensus was that more time actually coaching. Everyone tell me yes if that's what you wanted. More time actually coaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Coaching is so tricky because it could be me telling you to do all these things. And however, what leads to greater behavior change is when I form my questions in a way for you to tell me. So I've been trying to be very, very careful and conscious of that. So yes. Okay. So how do I do both? How do I tell you and get you to tell me? Because that's what leads to the greatest behavior change is when you tell me, when your kids tell you, right? Versus just being talked at. So, okay, I hear you loud and clear. Let's do some coaching. Okay, who wants to go first? What is going on this week?
Can I share something
Yeah,
that keeps repeating again and again and again in my class?
yeah.
It's I it's not very well, anyways. The thing is that we have a snack together with the
Mm-hmm,
kids. I have the little ones.
mm-hmm,
And we sit in a circle and we share snack for around 20 minutes, maybe, depending on the kids, how hungry they are and how are they able to stay seated
mm-hmm.
for periods of time. Let me open my, hey, I'm here. So what usually happens that you have it in my, what is it, the ABC,
Mm,
start screaming and yelling and making weird noises. And that's an ongoing thing. Like it's not every day, but it happens often.
mm-hmm,
And usually when that happens is someone that starts
mm-hmm.
and then the other one likes it and follows it. And then it's so much fun that the other one follows. And I have 4 kids or 5 kids yelling and screaming like crazy. And I try a lot of things. You don't have any idea. Like I do, okay, a little puppet thing with my hands, verse, a song, or I try to distract the kid that is starting making noises or following, ask them a question, something to get them engaged in something different. And all those things work, but eventually it happens again. And I usually try to engage them in conversation or songs or everything before this starts.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we tell stories, but there's a moment that we are either quiet or someone is talking and we're listening, and this thing starts happening. I try to pay attention to those kids, trying to engage them during that time. So that doesn't happen, but still happens. So the last thing I did is I started screaming with them louder. Oh,
Yep.
I was so loud. They
Okay.
all looked at me and said, that was so loud. Oh yeah, I can be really loud. And then they quiet down and said, well, let's play a game. When I open my hands, like if I'm a director of the opera, I open my hands, you can scream. If I close them, you need to make silence immediately. So we started playing the game and then it dissipated, it went away, but it's going to happen again. And I wonder, like, should I just relax and let it go? The thing is that I can't let it go because it gets really loud. And there's kids that start making like, oh, I don't like it. So it's uncomfortable for someone, so for some kids. And it's good that we are in the middle of nowhere and nowadays maybe the people outside hears us, but otherwise I don't think we bother anybody. But well, I think it's kind of disruptive.
Mhm.
And of course, they do it to get your attention. They know that they're doing something that they're not supposed to. They laugh at you. That's why I try to laugh with them, and I know get to their level so I can take them out of there, and it works. All these things that I'm telling you, they work in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but then these things happen again and again,
Mm.
and sometimes it's harder than other ones
Mm-hmm.
to get them out of there.
Okay. So your group is threes,
Three, 3 to 4.
3 and 4s.
I
Yep.
have some 4-year-olds.
Okay. But mostly threes. But no, are they okay. Okay. Does anyone else have any ideas that maybe have you experienced this? Have you done something that has been helpful to curb these behaviors?
The only crazy ones are mine.
Okay. So no one else really has had
Um,
little ones like this. I see the
I do experience my kids being disruptive during snack and lunch, especially because as they're sitting down for 20 minutes, they need to do something to stimulate them a bit more. So I do notice kids, I do have a lot of, a few impulsive students that will, just blurt, inappropriate words. They'll like scream penis, they'll scream poop, they'll start, wanting to like spit in each other's faces, definitely have all of that happen. So I usually ask them, are you able to sit here or do you need personal space? Usually they say, well, no, I want to sit here. I say, well, we will sit here and focus on our snack. Right now we are eating snack. When you are done and all cleaned up, you may play. And that usually helps. And then I'll just kind of remind them. I'll say, oh, I noticed that you're having a hard time sitting and focusing on your food. Do you need to take some space or are you ready to be here? And then once I ask that, they're like, oh, I'm ready to be here. And then they just stop. And that seemed to help. But of course, you always need to remind them to get back to square one. Like they're gonna, trail off and do it again. And you just have to keep repeating yourself. And yeah, that's just kind of what I've been doing.
and that is
I
working.
know you have a, oh, sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
I know you have a bigger group, Laura, but I also work with the young group, the 3-4-year-olds. And at the beginning, we were struggling a lot with that, and I kept trying to stop it myself, but I decided to just back off and then let the kids react to it, and that helped a bit, And I know, again, like I have a much smaller group, so I'm sure yours gets pretty rowdy, and like if kids are crying because of the loud sound, like you're obviously going to want to intercept, but I just kind of let the kids watch the other kids react. And then I just said, oh, like you see your friend, they're crying, they're not liking it, oh, they're covering their ears, what could it mean? And like it didn't always work, but it ended up working, and like now we don't really have problems with that. I've also have like some I have that book, the therapeutic storybook, and there's like a whole section of like, storytelling regarding like kids making silly noises or loud sounds or saying inappropriate words. So I could forward those stories if you'd like them.
Yeah, sure, please.
Those social stories are so powerful. I'm actually creating with forest animals a whole like flip book of social stories for each behavior and each social emotional skill, perseverance, grit. So stay tuned for that. But that would be so Miss Lisa and Miss Camila shared some strategies. Have you tried some of those or do you want to try some of those?
I do use Lisa's strategy a lot. That's one of my ways of going. So for example, I'm controlling the one on the left, but then I have the one on the right that looks at me and screams in my face.
Yep. Okay.
And the one on the left, well, it worked for him, but it doesn't work for the other one. And I also let them, as I told you, I let them be sometimes and see what happens. But the thing is that if I do that, they keep getting the other friends engaged.
Yeah.
It's not that it stops, it gets louder.
something that's coming to my mind, and you can tell me if you like this or not like this, if you don't like this, is what about how many kiddos do you have total?
Around 10, more or less. I have some, and
Would it,
sometimes more, sometimes less.
would it be possible to allow kind of two lunch groups to form? Those who want to be quiet and listen to a story or something like that, and those that want to be loud. And if you join the ones that are more on the quiet side, that might motivate the ones that want to be light, especially since you're not going to be reinforcing much over here. They might feel compelled to join the more quiet ones over here. Is that impossible? Is anything possible around that?
No, it's not possible. And then if they start being loud, they go to the other group that is already formed. It's there for them to be any moment. Because as of now, I say, well, if you keep screaming like that, being so loud, you're welcome to go and be loud. And it's over there where nobody can hear you. And that they don't want. So they stop. But yeah,
I mean,
okay.
the two groups idea is an idea. You can totally try that. If
It
you
might be that they have more fun being like that,
Hmm?
and we are going to leave them, listen to them because we're not going to be so far away.
Mhm.
And maybe I want some other ones from my group to join the other one.
It's maybe something to try and test.
Yeah.
What I would,
See.
if you want the group to kind of stay together as a whole, maybe leave one spot beside, maybe two spots beside you for the children who need a little bit of support, not being so loud. And you can say that. I'm saving these two spots for any kiddos who just need a little bit of help not to be so loud. Something like that, kind of front loading that. How does that feel?
Okay, yeah, it's going to make some kids sad because
Okay.
they usually fight to be next to me,
Okay.
and so I don't know if that would be fair.
Right. Nope. I hear you.
Uh,
Okay, cool. Yeah, we never want to punish the ones that are already doing the good
Mhm.
thing. So nope, that's good to highlight. Okay.
But I have them close. I mean, sometimes I have him next to me, one of them. Sometimes I have him or them like one boy next to me, like so I can reach to them easily and touch them and say, hey, call their attention.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so tricky.
And you know, they are threes and fours, so they're going to get loud, especially when there's a lull in energy. They're going to feel that space. So it is just, I can't remember who said it, like Miss Camila or Lisa mentioned, it's a constant, oh, are you here with us? Or do you need to go over there to be loud? And then that, and you're doing a little bit of that already too. And I think yeah, we're just building skills. We're building that tolerance to stay with a yellow volume. Are you doing any kind of more concrete visual with volume levels so that they
No,
know where they kind of stand? And
no, but
you
they
know,
know that they're being loud. It's
yeah.
not that they don't realize. They start that on purpose because
Mhm.
they know that they're kids that are going to follow because they're followers. So it's on purpose.
Yep. So they're natural born leaders. So how can we um support them in that leadership role without so that they don't go negative. They stay in a positive leadership role.
Okay, so we go back every time to the same, like, yeah, maybe giving them something to share or something. Yeah, that's why I try to get them engaged in conversation and sharing what they either like, wanted to do, did, whatever the idea is in the moment. But then what do you think? Like they could share a song, a story, or
How are
how can I
how are
make
you?
them?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's coming to how are you and everybody else too? Remember, we need to be embedding compliments because so that came to my mind. What if lunch could be a time of giving compliments to each other? And maybe you could do it out of a bag, right? So draw their names. And maybe you just set his aside and draw it quite often as you're blindly drawing them so that he can give a compliment to, you know what I mean, other people and like keep his mind going forward, doing a good thing.
Okay. Yeah,
Just an
okay.
idea. You're not going to get much eating done yourself.
No, it's okay. I'm used to it. I'm
Okay.
always on top of everything there,
Right.
especially at snack.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's a good idea. And we started doing something like that in the morning, but I can definitely open it up to snack time and have a basket with the names, and maybe I have 10 of him. 10.
Yep.
Oh, you again.
Yep. And just giving him skills to do good. So it's okay if he gets chosen a lot. And
Mhm.
we and you know, that is fair because fair isn't equal, right? What a child needs may not be what other children need. So that's something that came to my mind.
Okay, I tried that. That I
Okay.
didn't try, so it's good.
Okay. Try
Another option.
that. All right.
And
And
the idea would be to encourage him to be this leadership but in a positive way. Maybe I can think of something else.
or um maybe he can be the drawer or the names or something that he can tell. I guess he's only 3 or 4, so he may not be able
Or
to read the names, but yeah, just how to keep his mind busy doing positive things.
okay.
And just remembering that um, just to try not to reinforce what he's doing and constantly reminding, oh, are you here with us? Voice, where's our voice level? You know, and then if you need to be loud, feel free to leave, come back when you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm usually calm and I'm like that. It's like, yeah, just do you need to go out somewhere else or stay? Usually they say stay. This one is kind of tricky. And it might be that he gets bored or it's so hard for him because of the language barrier.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Language barrier. Okay.
I think so. He's getting used to English.
Um,
Uh,
oh yeah. So he's doing this because he doesn't, what percent intelligibility does he have with the children?
excuse me, what?
How well is he understood by the other children?
He makes himself, yeah, understand. I mean, he tries to communicate with them and he has these keywords that he uses. I don't know how well he understands when I'm telling a story.
Mm,
Or
yep.
if we are talking and talking and talking, I usually address him in Spanish, or there's some kids that also speak in Spanish. So it might be that depending on the theme of the moment, he might get bored
Mhm.
or he wanted to participate in a way. But I usually try, as I told you, I try to participate him. But yeah, it might be something that is happening.
Yeah, and I really look at where belonging and significance is for him. Where are we providing opportunities for him to know that he's wanted here, he's loved here, that he can do important things here. That type of thing. Kiddos, you know, when they feel good, they do good. When they do good, they feel good. So where can we embed maybe more opportunities for him to do good?
Okay, yeah, it's tricky because now he's coming with the parents because we needed support with him.
Okay.
So he knows that he's uh, not wanted, but he was expelled from one school already. So he's worried about it. So we really need to reinforce that, like that we really like him to be there, and that he's important for the group. And yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe he's just the kid that holds the bag that you draw out of. I don't know. Maybe it's okay to layer on a little extra. I know that you'll have to see how you feel about that, but he's gonna need a lot. He's gonna need a lot of extra support. And notice if parents are reinforcing any kind of negative behaviors on accident, because we do. We're
Yeah,
either
yeah. It's
reinforcing
tricky.
it. Yep.
Yeah. I might have the problem with him also that he doesn't want to be the helper.
Interesting.
So we offer him like, oh, we need you. You're strong to pull the car. This is going to be your job for today or whatever. And he, no, I don't want to. Of course, he prefers walking with the friends and making noises and dropping the backpacks and whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Then just more power. He needs a lot more power. So if we know he's gonna say no to helping, we still want to give him that choice. What's his first initial?
I.
So we would just say, hey, do you want to pull the wagon today or walk by your friend? And he's gonna be like, oh, him just having a choice, he's gonna be like, this is new. I'm not being told what to do, because even though we're trying to give that significance by giving them a task, if they're told to do it,
No, they have a choice.
they have a choice.
Yes.
Okay.
We're trying to do everything that you told us.
Nope, that's good. That's good. Okay. Try the are the choices given, how are the choices given to him?
Okay, so in the morning they arrive and they choose their job for the day. So they have to choose. It might be that he gets a little late, so the choices are less. But there's always this choice of, if you don't feel like doing it, your choice is to be on your day off. So that's okay.
Okay.
Sometimes he says that he's going to do it and then he doesn't do it. Yeah, I have those choices that we implemented since last time that we met.
Okay.
To give more choices to them.
And okay. Let me think more on this. Try these things too that we talked about. Gosh. Yeah. How interesting. It would be interesting to know how much he's understanding of what he needs to be doing.
He is, because I constantly reinforcing things in Spanish for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Try these new things. And email me with any other questions and we'll dive deeper into this, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. All right. That function of behavior, whoo, can be so tricky sometimes. All right. Does anyone else have something that they want to comment on that's been working really well, successes over these last 2 weeks, or that they want support with? Lisa's got it, or Miss Liza has it all in the bag.
Wait, are you talking to Lizzie or Lisa? Our names are very similar.
Yes, it's Lizzie. I can see her head, like, everything's good. It's perfect over here.
I am not having behavior issues. I have one kid I'm concerned about academically, but I have a conference with his parents and I'm going to find out what's going on at home.
Cool.
And any kind of blip with his behavior is purely due to his confidence, his lack of confidence. And I'm gonna find out from his parents what's going on at home. So
Okay.
what they're working on, what they're doing with him, because he's ready to move up into another group next year, older kids, and he is not ready to go academically. So he's really my only issue right now, but it's not a behavior thing. It's I think his parents are doing nothing with him at home. So
And he doesn't feel any shame, or he doesn't feel like
yeah,
he's behind.
gets mad. He gets mad.
Yeah.
But that's why. So it isn't like I have to figure out
Right.
what's going on. You know, he has no confidence because he can't do the work the other kids are doing. And like I said, I'm gonna put this on his parents when I meet with them next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna start, you know, my conference off with, hey, what's going on at home?
Okay.
You know, what other programs are you guys doing besides the 3-day drop-off homeschool enrichment program?
Do you feel confident in highlighting for the parents just to watch? And you may not feel this is your place, and it may be your place or may not be your place, but to watch where we accidentally, inadvertently shame kiddos into doing better. Because, and just to be
Yeah, I
helping
felt
them be aware of
was.
that.
He was a behavior problem last year, stemming from all the same issues, and also lots of inappropriate television at home. And when I mentioned it to the parents, and this was when he was 6 to 6.5, he's almost 8 now. When I mentioned to the parents, you know, hey, I know that this is kind of part of your family thing, but I think that it's frightening him. And they went, oh, I guess you'll watch princess movies now. So they, you know, and I said, please don't make it a punishment that he doesn't get to watch horror movies at 6 years old. So
Okay.
right. So again, yeah, this isn't gonna dig to like, hey, why is his behavior the way it is?
Yeah.
This is gonna take the parents doing some real looking inside.
And yeah, this is going to come down to parent education.
Mhm.
But once we invite shame for a kiddo or open that door for a kiddo, then they take their behaviors, their lack at such a personal level that
Mhm.
they just shut down and blame themselves. And then change is so hard. Okay, cool. Sounds like you're on that and you have your team behind you working on any of that piece. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it's sad, but
Right.
yeah, this is maybe the parents having to really come to terms with what they're doing.
Okay, cool. All right.
I'm sorry, I'm stopped watching a heron eat a giant crab right here.
What? Okay. That sounds amazing. Um, anybody else have some stuff that they're going through that they want to talk about? Miss Camila or Lisa?
Sorry, yeah, I was trying to get back to. I don't know why this new phone it's so tricky. Are you guys still there? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It keeps closing. Okay. I wanted to touch a little bit on the lizard thing I like lightly mentioned at the beginning. I mean, you know, we work outdoors all day long, at least at the location that I work at in Dade. It's something that we come across every year where there's just like all the kids, but by the like throughout the whole year and into the end of the year, there's like a handful of kids who just want to catch lizards all day long. You know, and we've spoken to Christy and Emily about this, and we've decided like, okay, we should join them in this craze and maybe do like a lesson or bring out like build a lizard home, things like that. And we have done that with the group, and it does help for some time, you know, for them to channel their passion about lizards all together in a way that's like organized. But but there's just some kids where that doesn't go away, and I don't, obviously we don't want it to go away completely, but even during focus times, it's hard to bring them in, even with things that they are interested in or will sit and eventually become interested in. They will still like prefer or just get distracted and go catch lizards again. And then that sometimes means they're going out of boundaries. They're starting up arguments because they're, let's say two kids are like trying to catch the same lizard. So like it takes like a teacher away from a focused activity to go handle that. And I don't know. It's just, I don't really know what to do with it.
Okay. So the solution is tell the lizards you need to go. You need to go because you're causing stress. No.
Honestly.
Um,
Like everything else, of course, we're outside. Everything else, like we will pause if there is like an amazing nature moment. Like Lizzie just saw, the heron eating the crab. We will stop what we're doing. Like we honor that, of course. It's just with lizards, it's a nonstop battle.
okay. And you're just so I'm understanding, they're a battle because sometimes two kids will go to one lizard and then they'll have a confrontation over that. Or maybe you're trying to have focus time and there's a lizard distracting, which I guess the main issue there is when there's a confrontation, it takes a teacher leaving the focus group to go and help, do that. Am I on the right track?
Sorry, yeah, that is definitely one of the things, right? Like it requires the teacher to be there. They won't, like the children themselves will not get into like a focus activity as easily as other kids. Even like we have like organized like focus lessons, but we also have like stations where the kids like have the freedom to choose something to do. They also won't get into that, and like their whole focus all year long are the lizards and catching them and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What age group do you have?
This is not actually particular to any age group because it happens, like I said, like it's just like a handful of kids all year, every year that I've worked here, and it'll be within all the age groups. There'll be like a few kids, like in the youngest groups, in the middle group, and the oldest group. So it's I would say like mostly 5 to 9, which is like the oldest that we have at our location.
So have you brought this problem to them?
Um, I guess, like the teachers, we do like, tell them like, you're spending your time on lizards. We've even like Lisa, I think, made like a schedule, like within her schedule, she added times like this is a time where we can catch lizards. This is a time where we're going to step away from that and focus on this or that. Like, so we've had conversations like that. I don't know if like specific to those children, I'm not sure, other than like, hey, there's so many other things we can choose from right now is not the moment to do this.
So I guess the question I'm asking is
Mhm.
during like your initial circle time or uh, um how do you at what point is a time where the children are together focused on you that you can say we have a situation. The lizards are such, an amazing part of our school, but sometimes we're not able to focus on other things. Who has ideas on how we can, designate lizard for lizard time and have focus?
Um,
Who has ideas?
So I would say like when Lisa does her circle, her schedule, that's a pretty good moment to have those conversations. And I think she has had a conversation similar to that. And then the teacher for the older group, she has those kinds of meetings all the time, and she will also have them about lizards. And that conversation, she says, is like in the moment very productive and people are participating and talking about it. But then when it comes down to the moment, those few kids that are really hyper fixated on lizards will continue that. Even if they talked about in circle like other ways, other things they
Right.
could do. They all joined in on making this lizard home. and that helped out a little bit. They will also miss out on like socializing with other kids too because they will be so focused on that.
Yep. So,
You know, and that's why we thought about the lizard home so they could all be working together on one thing and it wasn't just like these few kids that are always doing this, isolating themselves. But yeah.
so a part of bringing the solution to the children is, the adult contributing also, saying, I think these are great ideas. I'm wondering, if they don't work, maybe if we'll just not go. Is there any area that doesn't have lizards or that's less fun?
Yeah. So I guess like for catching lizards, yeah, there's one area and it's the river, like by the river there aren't many. And yeah, and the kids that these lizard kids, they know that. So that if we're going by the river like a portion of the day, they'll be like, "Oh, there's no lizards there." So yeah, there's like a place that they know.
Okay. Um, and to say, you know what, today we're not able to handle lizards well. We are not touching lizards today. We are not catching, we're not doing anything with lizards today. Tomorrow we'll try again. But we're having a really hard time regulating ourselves, and not being focused on other things besides lizards. Tomorrow we'll do lizards, but today we're not going to do lizards. Has anything like that come into the conversation?
Stating that, yes, not leaving an area or going to a specific area where there are like less lizards.
Okay.
I do also know that like naturally, let's say there's like a day where there's not a lot of lizards in a place that there usually are lizards or whatnot. That what might happen or has happened is that those kids go like out of bounds. They move very far from the group in
Mhm.
order to find these lizards.
And if a person, do they know the consequence essentially on what happens if they go out of bounds? Is
They do. I just think it's a little tricky because it's like if they go out of bounds, I mean, there's no like real consequence unless we truly cannot see them or they keep walking despite like us telling them to come back. Like, if we can see them, there's no real consequence. And maybe that's something we should talk about. We will talk to their parents about it, but that's about it. And then let's say they did go out of sight, then they would have to be sent home. But that's like the only consequence, I guess, that they would see.
okay. Whenever we bring, and I'm still not clear, um, and I guess it doesn't matter too much, but whenever we bring the children into the problem-solving process and we get their ideas, we can, say, let's try, we'll try this for one day. If this doesn't work, then we'll have a day of no one touching lizards, or everyone will have to stay very close. So we don't have any lizard situations. But then saying, but tomorrow we'll try again. We always want to say, tomorrow we can try again. And then also inviting them, if someone goes out of bounds, what happens? If someone goes where, we can't see you, what happens? Make sure that they know crystal clear the consequence of.
Okay, yeah, I think that is a bit more thorough of a conversation than what's been had. So that is helpful. Thank you.
Mhm. And try to, we want to, they're going to be like kind of sad, right? I mean, if they're told that lizards aren't going to be a part of their day, they're going to be a little bit sad. So, um, you know, whenever you're, I guess what I want to say here, not articulating it very well, is anytime we can pull in playfulness, it helps the heart and brain be open to receiving. So, as I said, tell the lizards to get out of here. They are go on vacation, come to Colorado. You know what I mean? Like being silly as a suggestion, kids will love that and they'll feel more open to adding real suggestions because you're adding real suggestions too. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it causes so much tension that like I don't know, we get to a point where like when we are speaking about this, the teachers sound and look upset, you know?
mhm.
And I think that they've had those types of conversations that you're talking about when they aren't upset, but then they don't like have a follow-up conversation like, "Oh, that didn't work out. Like, what can we do?" You know?
Oh,
It's just like, "Oh, that didn't work." Like, and to themselves or to the team, like, "What do we do now?" Like, I feel lost, and we all feel lost in it, and not including the kids again as
uh-huh.
a way of like accountability almost.
Yes. So what if, yeah, during this the circle time, writing all the suggestions out, sending the lizards away, no forts, um, whatever the children, and teachers come up with, and just saying, we'll try these each day. If they don't work, we'll try another one the next day. And really making it something that can be, they can be held accountable to. And that's in black and white, literally, or colored, whatever.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Um, are the children allowed to pick up the lizards and handle the lizards?
Yeah, they can. We have like a few rules about that. I know they've also talked about that in group, like what makes sense for us to do when we have a lizard, what's like an inappropriate way to hold them. So it's like open hand, they can have them for a few minutes. And then like after some time they have to put that lizard that they've been holding for a while down and they can have another one lizard at a time, that kind of stuff. And I believe in the older group they've decided that together.
Okay. So that could be maybe a child will suggest it, or maybe a teacher would suggest no holding lizards for a day. If we all can't
Mhm.
agree to have, a level of listening and respect for the group, if lizards are causing us trouble, our team trouble, we can't let lizards do that. Maybe we just can't hold them for a whole day and see if that helps us be better listeners. Or what if we can hold them and be good listeners? There's our and. Um,
Mhm.
help, like inviting them, like modeling, articulating that kind of thing for them.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Um, I guess something else that's coming to my mind is for kiddos who are super, super intent on the lizards. That's really all they want to do. They're like just totally focused in. Is there any way to like hand them a clipboard with a paper and said, I can see you are so into this lizard right now. We also need to do science or something. Like, how can you embed the two? Giving them the problem, just, that to their, how can you embed what we're trying to do in science into this lizard observation? Sit here with the clipboard and, can they do that? Is that an option where you're honoring that need individually, but also helping take the hyper focus and channeling it into something a little more academic?
Yeah, that's like our most recent idea. Like I said, we've done like a focus lesson with a whole group, like all of Lisa's class did it and then all of Kirsten's class did it. But recently we thought like what if with just these kids we turned like that lesson into about lizards for them. So that's what's happening next.
Okay. That'll be interesting to see if it curbs it a little bit or not. Um, okay, cool. Got some strategies there. Um, all right. We have 4 minutes left. This hour goes by so dang fast. Does anyone have anything else they want to either share or strategize around? No. Okay, interrupt me if you do. Um, I think a theme that has come up recently in the work that I'm doing with other schools and parents is this idea of saying no all the time and how to shift it into a yes. I think we've talked about it a little bit. And if we just step into our children's shoes for a second, if we were wanting something and our boss, I mean, how often do our kids hear no every single day? It would be so discouraging, and eventually we would stop asking. We either do the thing or just blatantly, or go behind their back and do the thing, or just become so discouraged we just kind of shut down. Our kids have to hear no throughout the day. That's life. And we can also often turn these no's into yeses by inviting them to come up into the problem solving process, or Mom, can I have a car? Yes, when you're 18. Can I have my iPad? Yes, tell me when. Do we do that before a shower or before dinner? Right? So we can turn most any no into a yes. And that helps them stay regulated and realize that we hear them. Because oftentimes they don't even realize that we really, really hear them. So I know we've talked a little bit about that. I just kind of wanted to give that reminder that can really solve a lot of problems too. What else? Nothing else is coming. We have 2 minutes left. Anything else? Okay. So what was the one takeaway thing you want to try from our whole conversation for this next week? 2 weeks, actually. We only have one more session together.
I definitely want to try making like that suggestions list with the kids when it comes to the lizard catching, and kind of talk about when we can do it, how we can do it, for how long, because we do want to support their interests and their passions, but it does kind of cross boundaries. Like they borderline like kill these lizards when they're holding them for too long. Like they also like will have prolonged breakdowns about it, crying for long periods of time. So I think working together to find solutions with the kids on a daily basis, not just like, okay, here we are, we're going to talk about it and then not come back. So I think following up, keeping it consistent, reminding them, and knowing that like having them know that we want to encourage their interests, but in a way that is within like a structured boundary. So yeah, I'm excited to try that and see how that works.
Okay, very, very cool. Anybody else? Or, yeah, Miss Lara, what was your number one thing that you're going to try?
I'm going to reinforce the good in the children, the child, this one specifically, make him feel useful and welcome and empowered. So I'm going to try starting during our snack time, this giving compliments and receiving compliments, and see how can he help in a way, but giving him choices.
Yeah.
So he has that power. I think that's
Okay.
something.
Cool. Something you might want to play with too is shortening snack time. And
It is short, and the children that are finished, they're welcome to go and play.
okay.
No,
You're
it's
doing
not
so
long at
many,
all.
all the things. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, try all that and then maybe try the 2 groups and for a day and see how
And
that.
the 2 groups. Yeah, I'm going to try the 2 groups.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, Miss Lizzie. One little thing, what was the most powerful?
Strategies today for me?
Yeah.
This is so hard for me because I honestly have 50% of my kids are ready for the next grade. They're much older than all these kids. I don't have the noisemakers. I don't have lizard fixators. Again, honestly, my biggest issue right now is getting one child academically ready. I knock wood, whatever you want to say. I've had a really nice, easy go the last couple months. The kids have been really enjoyable and really not battling anybody.
Okay.
We
Cool.
goof around a lot. I mean, I get a lot done from them. I can get a little I can get a little fixated myself on their workbooks and seeing their work growth, that I can get a little like, hey, what's happening here with the kids who aren't keeping up? And that, is something I have to step down and take regular traditional education out of my mind for these kids, because that's not what we're doing here. But yeah, behavior right now, I'm kind of on smooth sailing with behavior issues,
Cool. What's been the
luckily.
number one tool that you have found that has helped this smooth sailing way?
Definitely the and. Like today I had two little girls sitting next to each other. They're looking at their hair. They're showing each other their hair. And I said, oh my gosh, you both have such beautiful hair. And it's my turn to talk now. And they were like, okay.
And is powerful. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's been very helpful.
Nice. Miss Camila, what number one thing that you want to try, that you heard and you want to try this week? 2 weeks.
Sorry. I think that whole lizard conversation, that whole thing
Okay.
this year and next year and these next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
That'd
right.
be great.
That's gonna, and that is such a beautiful opportunity, even though it's annoying to us, like again, we're dealing with this again. It really is such a beautiful opportunity to daily analyze what they're doing, what they're thinking, what are they feeling, what they're deciding, and working together as a team. And if there needs to be a day where no one messes with lizards, then that's okay. That's what happens. We can come back and try again tomorrow. We're just learning and growing together. So I guess I just want to end with, remember, if you put any expectations on something, it's our job to follow up. So we want to be careful where we put in hard expectations that kids can kind of get away with in a sneaky way. We don't know, because then we're reinforcing that. Right? So which can be tricky. Because if we say no forts, no more forts, and they're they're building forts, then we're providing opportunities to develop that behavior. So we just want to be careful where we lay out those expectations. All right. Thank you, everybody. Amazing. Miss Laura, you and I can continue to go back and forth on this. So email me anytime. Anyone can email me anytime, or in the Facebook group. Let's
Okay, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Megan.
Welcome. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Talk